Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Friday, November 20th, 2009. This morning I'd like to go through getting access to the user environment. Now if you're on Windows, you're probably going to access the registry. I've done screencasts on that. But if you're on any other platform, OS X, Linux, Unix, you're probably going to access the environment. Now to do that, let's create a new tab in the workspace here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to access a class called CEnvironment, which apparently I can't spell. So CEnvironment, command line. Oftentimes it's useful to know what the command line was that started your application. So if I inspect this, it'll tell me there was my command line, and that's additional arguments that were sent to it. So you can see the entire command line right here. Now that's not all you'd really want, so let's go to Browse, class named CEnvironment, and let's take a look at some of the protocol. We'll go to the class side. And you see there's a bunch of different things you can do here. You can check the environment, and this will give you back the environment that you started with. There's also a get user environment, which is a more friendly way of doing this. It'll just return it instead of just checking it. So let's send that. Let's get the user environment. This will give me the environment that I started the application with. So CEnvironment get user environment. Now this will all work on Windows, by the way. It's just not typically the way you would get access to this kind of information. So let's do an inspect, and this is all the variables that I started up with. Notice there's no VisualWorks 1. That's because we store that a little differently. But all of these are in here, and these are just various things that are common to the Mac startup environment. You get different ones if you're on Linux or Unix. Now, notice the comment here. If you want to change the user environment, you should use this set variable value. Now, instead of accessing OS system support directly, what you want to do, and I'm going to copy this text because I don't want to have you watch me type it. You go to OS System Support, get the concrete class. That'll tell you whether you get the Mac one, the Windows one, the Unix one, whatever. And then create a new instance and set the variable. I'm going to call my Smalltalk variable with the value of Fred. Not terribly useful, but you'll see what it does. Let's do a do it on this. And then having done that, we'll go ahead and get the user environment again. And you'll see that now I've got this new variable in here with this value. Not a terribly useful value, not a terribly useful variable, but you can see that it's easy enough to do. So if for any reason you have an application that needs to set up environment variables, this is how you do it. You can just set them up and then they're sitting there until your application completes running, at which point, since they're part of the user environment, not the system environment, they'll go away. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with Smalltalk.